Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to your very own BYJU'S 6th, 7th and 8th grade channel. I'm your teacher Aishwarya and I welcome you to today's class, which is going to be a full chapter revision, and of course we are going to be doing your favorite Menti quiz as well. So I hope all of you here are excited, and very quickly I hope my audio, my video and my screen and what I'm writing on the screen is visible to all of you. If it is, students, please give me a quick thumbs up to let me know that we are good to go and we are not facing any technical issues. Yes? Good evening. I can see many of you are here, many regular students, many new students. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Yes? Okay. So now, of course, I can see a lot of you are here already. Now, good evening, everyone. Okay. So now, of course, I can see that I am audible, I am visible, and you are all able to see me very clearly. Now, of course, students, as you know, today's class is going to be your own very favorite Menti quiz, right? But of course, one thing that you all need to know is that today we will start our class with a chapter revision. Yes? So now we're going to start with a full chapter revision where I have a mind map with me. Now, if many of you have seen the mind map session which is already there on the channel, then the mind map might look familiar. But if you have not seen the mind map before, then this will definitely be helpful. So all of you can take a screenshot. So I'm going to quickly do a chapter revision, and then of course we are going to do a full chapter quiz. Yes. So the mind map will be there on Menti as well. So in case if you want to take a screenshot, you can quickly take a screenshot. Now, Ansh Bacha, I know that you have some doubts here. So let me quickly finish, right? Let me quickly finish doing the introduction and I'm going to take your doubts, okay? Yes, Kanishka, I remember all of you. Now, one thing I request all of you to have is your notebooks and pens, or please at least have your textbooks open with you so that whatever important pointers that need to be there, you can write this down. Yes? Yes, Kannan Kumari, I will. Just let me know in the comments of this video. I will definitely help you out. Can you please make me smaller on screen, please? Okay. So now, of course, as you all know, BYJU'S, in BYJU'S 6 to 8 channel, we follow a fixed timetable. And of course, at 8 p.m. between Monday to Wednesday, you have regular classes that's going to happen on the channel. Today, of course, is science, and you have SST, and then you have mathematics. And of course, as you all know, between Thursday and Friday, we take level up sessions as well, right? So now, very quickly, everybody, do not forget to hit the like button on this video, right? As you all know, of course, it's going to be very, very important that at least we have 150 likes on this video before we get started with the Menti quiz. Yes, Tanush, I remember you from the previous quiz. Of course, I do. Now, quickly, can we, in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to do a full chapter revision. Now, the next 5 to 10 minutes is going to be very important because I need you to pay attention. We are going to revise the chapter. Questions are going to be based on what I will tell you. Yes, so if your video is not clear, go to settings and increase the, make sure that you increase the, I don't know what that's called. It's not coming in my name. The settings, may you have video quality, right? Go there and you increase it. All right. So now, of course, as you all know, this is going to be a quick mind map. Of course, the top part of it you're not able to see because of the Menti code. But this is a quick Menti question. This is a quick chapter mind map that you can see. If you want to take a screenshot, you can take that, right? So as you all know, in this particular chapter, crop production and management, we learned that crop production mainly comes under the ideology of agriculture, and we know that agriculture that is there is a branch of science that deals with cultivating crops at a large scale and of course rearing animals or rearing livestock for our food benefits. Yes, so now of course we know that there are two kinds of crops. Yes, so we know that we have kharif crops and rabi crops, and this kharif crops and rabi crops are based on their cropping season. Kharif crops are called as your monsoon crops because the seeds are sown during monsoon season, harvested around September-October time. While your rabi crops that are there are mainly your winter crops, right? So we sow them in the winter season and harvest them around summertime. Yes? So now, of course, when we talk about rearing these crops at a large scale, we talk about how we have various agricultural practices that are incorporated, starting with preparation of the soil, right? So when you talk about preparation of soil, we know that in preparation of soil, we learnt about how we need to loosen and turn the soil by plowing or tilling. And we also sometimes need to level the soil. When there are big crumbs or big rocks or chunks of soil, it's not very ideal for agriculture, which is why we need to break them down or we need to level the soil, right? So what do we use? We can use traditional tools like plow or hoe, or you can use modern tools like cultivator. Yes? Now, why do we have to prepare the soil? So that we can make sure that the soil is loose, so that there is airflow that can be there. The roots can, penetrate and go. When the roots are growing, they can penetrate inside, right? And as we all know, we also know that it also helps in mixing the nutrients well and equally distributing it. Yes? Now, students, as you all know, I am revising, so I need you to just pay attention, okay? Listen to my voice and do not unnecessarily spam at this point. Yes? Now, let's move on to the second topic, right? As you all know, right? The second topic that was there, or the second step rather, is nothing but sowing of seeds. And we know that sowing of seeds is a very important thing because we need to sow the seeds at a certain level, right? So we need to sow the seed at a certain distance or a certain depth so that, either if it is at the surface level, sometimes they might be clumped up together, which can result in competition. Or at times we also observe that if they are at the surface, the birds might pick it and go. So, of course, there were traditional methods where, you would broadcast it. You would just throw the seeds and randomly scatter it on the soil. Or, of course, we see that later on they came up with a tool which is called as funnel sowing, where you had a funnel-like structure which would help in sowing. But this, of course, had its own disadvantages because it was not sown at a proper depth, which is why we started using modern tools like seed drill, right? Then, of course, once we have prepared the soil and we have sown the seeds, another very important thing to check for is how much nutrients are present, right? So, how much nutrients are present, that is where addition of nutrients comes into the picture, right? So, when you talk about nutrients, right, we know that there are various kinds of nutrients where, of course, you can either add organically, which is the organic material, that is the manure, or you can have fertilizers. Now, of course, earlier before manure and fertilizers, there was land fallowing, which was called, right? So, as you all know, right? When you talk about fallowing, it means that leaving the land empty. Somebody was asking me, ma'am, what is fallow land? That means that leaving the land empty is what we called as land fallowing. Now, of course, when you talk about this was not pretty ideal because the reason why we were leaving the land empty was so that the nutrients would replenish itself, right? But of course, over a period of time, we saw that that was not very ideal because the nutrients took a long time to replenish, yes? Which is why we see that crop rotation became a better alternative, right? So now, of course, once we've added our nutrients, we progress into irrigation, right? So we know that irrigation is nothing but adding water at regular intervals. And we have various sources through which we can add water. We can depend on the rain, we can depend on freshwater sources. But of course, when you're growing crops at a large scale, you need to provide water properly, right? So there are traditional methods like mow, dhekli, chain pump and rahat, or you have modern methods like sprinkler method and drip method. Then, of course, we had removal of weeds or weeding as an important step because once you do all of this and you allow your crops to grow, we see that along with this, it can also result in growth of unwanted crops that can compete, right? So, we see that it can compete with your crops, yes? So, now, of course, we see that at this point, yes, we observe that this right here is not very ideal because they're competing with your own crops for, nutrients, right? So, that's not very ideal, which is why removal of weeds is very, very important. Now, of course, we see that one question which Ansh is asking me, right? See, there are some weeds which are digested by some cattle. So, if there are no weeds, would the cattle die? Absolutely not. It's not like your cattle is only feeding on those weeds. What are weeds? They are unwanted plants, right? Now, of course, we see that we remove these weeds using khurpi, or we can use seed drill, or of course, we can spray chemicals and get rid of them. But it's not like your cattle will specifically go. Now, you think about a cow or you think about sheep. right? If a sheep goes, sheep is not able to distinguish between crop and a weed, right? At that point, sheep is just looking at both and saying plant. But ideally, if that weed is not there, it's not like that crop is not going to grow. I mean, the cattle will not get food. Go somewhere else and get food, okay? Yes. So now, of course, this is a question that you were asking me, right? Now, of course, I can see what is broadcast method. Broadcasting means taking seeds and throwing it randomly, right? Aise fekna. That is what we understand as broadcasting. Yes? So now, of course, once we have removed the seeds, right, we see that we move on to harvesting, where once the crop is matured, you either cut it close to the soil or you pluck it out. Now, once you have done that, I will use a sickle, right? So somebody was asking me, ma'am, what is a sickle? A sickle is an axe-like structure which looks something like this. Yes? And of course, funnily, Priya says, ma'am, today sickle cell anemia day. Oh, that's amazing. So sickle cell anemia, I will talk about it towards the end, right? Hypertonic solution, everything in 9th grade class. I am sorry that I will not be tackling it today, right? So now, of course, we see that threshing and winnowing is there. See, threshing is when you take the whole crop. You imagine this is my pen. Or this remote is my whole crop, right? My whole crop with the stalk, the grains and everything. Threshing that is there is hitting and beating it against it so that you separate the grains from the stalk, right? That is threshing. What is winnowing? Winnowing is when you are, shaking it off this way, where based on difference in densities, you separate the grains or the seed or the edible part from the shaft, that is the husk, right? So now, of course, we see that once we do all of this, there are manual ways of it that we just discussed, or of course, using a combine, we can do it, using modern methods. Then, of course, we see that we have storage, where, of course, we know that we need to store it at a large scale. Now, of course, while storage, we know that we can either store it in metallic bins or we can store it in sacks. But, of course, large scale storage will happen in silos and granaries. And we need to make sure that we take precautions while doing this, because this right here is important. So now, of course, these were some extra pointers that I have added, especially for addition of nutrients, because in addition of nutrients, this is a very commonly asked topic, right? So on an examination point of view, they will ask this particular topic, which is why I need you to make sure that all of you take a screenshot of this particular point. Now, this was a simple mind map that I had used in order to just quickly explain the topic, because after this, right, we are going to be doing the Menti quiz, and the questions that are there are going to be important. So students, if you want to take a screenshot, please go ahead and take a screenshot of the previous slide and the next slide, right? So everybody, please go ahead and take a screenshot and let me know that we are good to go. Yes. Now, many questions coming my way. I will be taking them as I do today's quiz, but I request all of you. See, Saksham, I understand my mind map is a very primitive mind map. Yes, you can share me yours also. I'm sure it must be 100 times. I mean, of course, much better than mine. I know my students are far more advanced than me, right? Yes. Okay. Very good, all of you. Very good. Take a screenshot of the next slide as well, because this is going to be difference between addition of nutrients, right? So these are all the important pointers that we need to know. Okay. All right, everybody. Very good. Very good. Yes. Amazing, Anshika. Amazing. Now, very quickly, students, before I get started with this particular before I get started with the Menti, right? So in the meanwhile, here's the Menti code for all of you, so that you can just go ahead and you can join the code. So the code right here is going to be 2799878773. Yes? Okay, so this is the Menti code, but in the meanwhile, I have a question to ask all of you, right? How many of you have a lot of doubts in this particular chapter, right? If you have a lot of doubts for this particular chapter, would you like to have a doubt solving class, right? Yes? Would you all like to have a doubt solving class for this particular chapter? If you have a lot of doubts, and if you have, specific directed doubts that are there, then I request all of you to please make sure that all of you let me know in the comments, right? Let me know in the comments of this video, and we'll plan something where we do the doubt solving session slightly differently, right? Okay. Yes, we are starting Menti. First 15 minutes was for a quick revision, right? Okay, you should let me know in the comments. So there might be some questions that might go unanswered today, but if that is the case, you let me know in this, in the comments of this video. And very quickly, students, I'm going to start Menti provided I have 150 likes on this video. That's your like target for today. So I request all of you to quickly go ahead and hit the like button on this video, and do not forget to hit the subscribe button, right? Yes. Very good. See, Dipender and many others, maybe, see, chapter may, right? So let me tell you one thing. Whenever you look at any chapter, if you have not understood the concepts, first thing you need to make sure that you go ahead and you check the concepts, right? So which is why I request all of you to please make sure that you do that. Secondly, somebody was asking me, ma'am, did you make it from some software? Have you all realized that this is my handwriting? It is a handwritten mind map that I have made. I have not used any software. But if I were to make my own notes, right, this is how I would make it, right? So that is why I have not used any software to make any mind map. I have made this on my own. All right. So now, of course, students, jaldi, fatafat, do not forget to do it, and we will get started, right? So we have 15 questions for today, and very quickly we are going to get started. Ma'am, VD side 240 is only one, or they are different? See, 240 is one example of a VD side, but there are various examples that are there. Okay? Ha, theek hai. Mixed cropping is when you mix two crops and you crop it together. Like in the same piece of land, you grow two kinds of crops. That is called as mixed cropping. Crop rotation is when you grow one after the other. Formula for VD side 2, 4, D, 2, 4D. Winnowing and threshing, more in detail. I have questions based on that. I will go ahead and we will do it. Yes? Have you all written your names? Right? Have you all written your names? Sometimes you're like, ma'am, aapne, you didn't give me time to write names. So I hope you've written your names. Can we get started? Yes? Yes. Are we ready to start? Please wait. 2 more minutes. For those of you who are yet to join, code is 279987773. Ma'am, find teddy bear. Oh, it is very tough for me to do. Right. I am very bad at finding things. Ankita ma'am is more good at finding things. Right. I am very bad. You ask ma'am only to do. Alright. So let's get started. Let's move on to question number 1, everybody, on your screens now. Which of the following is used to preserve food grains at home? Now, if I want to make sure that the grains in my house are not getting spoiled, what will I do? So, will I add spinach leaves, mango leaves, neem leaves, tulsi leaves? What will I do? Over the weekend, there was a video which I had premiered, right, on storage, harvesting, and we also learnt about the importance of, pre-harvesting techniques, right? Very good. Correct answer is neem leaves. Now, how many of you can tell me why neem leaves were important? Why are we putting neem leaves? Why not anything else, right? Why am I adding neem leaves to my grains? What is so special about neem leaves? Yes? Granaries are large scale, like this huge storage house where you put many sacks of stored bits, right? Ma'am, it has antibacterial properties, and the neem has a very characteristic smell, right? How many of you have smelled How many of you have smelled the neem leaves? They have a very characteristic smell. So it kind of keeps the pests away, and they have antibacterial properties as well, which prevents the growth of microorganisms. So correct answer here is option C. Yes. Now let's quickly move on to the next question, everybody. Question number 2 on your screens now. Okay. So now, of course, the next question is the process of drying wheat stalks in the sun and then beating them to separate the grains from the stalk is called as what? Winnowing, threshing, churning, sieving. Many questions on winnowing, threshing. Now I've given you the answer, but now I will deal with it, right? Do elimination method. Exactly. Everybody has voted. Very good, all of you. Very good. I am very proud of you. See, let me tell you a hack. Okay, let me tell you a simple hack. What is a stalk? Somebody asked me that. I remember this question. Stalk is nothing but if you look at a wheat plant, right? You see that it has a stem, no? And then you will see many grains on this wheat, or if you look at rice, it'll have many stems, and then it'll have like long leaves like this. Yes? So this stem-like structure is nothing, or this rod-like structure, the stem basically is nothing but the stalk. Now what do you need to do? You need this stalk and you need these grains to be separate, right? So how will I separate? I will beat them, right? So whenever you hear the term beat, think of threshing. Yes? Winnowing, we know, is separation of grain and chaff, right? What is chaff? It is nothing but the husk of the grain or that outer dry covering, right? I know Apsara just answered your question. What is chaff? Chaff is nothing but the dry husk that is there. Yes? Tanu creation, I'm down 2 questions, but it's okay. You can come to the next one, right? Are we all clear? Now everybody, before I go ahead, right? Concept of winnowing and threshing is clear. Yes? Yes or no? Isma, I have just explained, right? Mixed cropping that is there is when in the same piece of land you grow 2 crops. Leaderboard coming after 5 questions, right? Yes, okay. Very good, all of you. Very good. Okay, all right. Thank you, Sakshan. Thank you so much. We're going to do Menti quizzes also regularly so that it's going to help you out. So don't worry. Yes, all right. Ma'am, winnowing, Dhrithi, I have just explained. Just rewind a little bit. You will be able to understand. All right. Let's quickly move on to the third question. We have 15 questions in total. So let's get started. Name the organism that performs nitrogen fixation in the roots of leguminous plants. Is it yeast, amoeba, rhizobium, earthworm? From 7th standard, we have been learning about this. You should close your eyes and give me the answer. Now again, we will learn more about this particular organism in the next chapter. So now at this point, you should not be telling me, "Arey ma'am, I don't know the answer," right? We all know. Easy question. 100% sure. See, I will not give you that analogy, SP Mukherjee, so whatever helps you remember easily, right? Now, of course, we know that there are certain plants which we call as leguminous plants. Now, I'm sure 1 or 2 must ask me, ma'am, why are we calling them as leguminous plants? Leguminous plants are called such because their, their fruit that is there, no? It will have this kind of a shape, right? Like your peas, your beans and all of them, no? They have a similar kind of shape like this, which is why we call these structures as legumes. Yes? Hence such a plant is what we call as leguminous plants. So now, of course, as we all see, right, in the case of these leguminous plants, in their roots, right? So in their root, we see that there are these bulb structures which we call as nodules. Inside these nodules, we observe that there is an organism called as rhizobium, which helps convert nitrogen. Or we say that it helps convert atmospheric nitrogen into usable forms, which process or what we call as nitrogen fixation. Yes? Blue-green algae is also there, but the question specifically talks about organisms which are present in the root nodules, right? Blue-green algae specifically, I would say, yeah. Yes, Amritanshu we'll be doing soon, right? Paddy is nothing but rice. Right? It's as simple as that. Now moving on to question number 4. Let's go on to question number 4, everybody. On your screens now. Mot, Dhekli and Rahat are different what? Traditional methods of cultivation, traditional methods of weeding, traditional methods of seed sowing, traditional methods of irrigation. Yes, how many of you here, and I know many of you might be confused. Now, Akanksha and many others, right? I have close to 180 students in this particular class. I think right now in the live chat, I see around 130 odd students. I might miss 1 or 2 of your questions. I am trying very desperately to answer all questions, but I am also human. No, there are times when I might miss a particular question. None of it is intentional. That's all that I have to say. Yes? Very good, all of you. Very good. Now, of course, when you talk about moat, we know that moat is often called as the pulley system, right? So, we know that often it is called as the pulley system. This is another question they can ask you. Which traditional method is also known as a pulley system? They can ask you this question. So, please star mark. Rahat also commonly it is called as lever system, right? lever system. Yes. So now, of course, this is also something that you will have to keep in mind. And when we talk about Dhekli, that is there, it's kind of like that, but it's a little different, right? So these are all easy peasy, and as you all know, they are traditional methods, right? They are all the traditional methods of irrigation. So please star mark this. They might be able to, they may ask you this question in your exams, right? Ma'am, you don't know the code. It's there right on top, 27998773. Yes, that is there, the code. Okay. Question number 5, everybody. Question number 5 on your screens now. Yes, we'll do Lakshmi Singh. We'll do. If you are a farmer, which of the following methods will you use to separate good quality and viable grains from a heap of grains after harvest? Okay. What will you do? Will you check the weight of the grains? Will you check the grains under sunlight? Will you put them in water? Or will you sow seeds and wait for germination? Very good, everybody. Very good. The correct answer here is option number C. You'll put it in water, right? Now, very quickly, I want you to tell me what is going to happen if I put seeds in water. I know that some of them will be immersed while some of them will float. Now, what can I infer from this, or what will I understand from this? The ones which are floating, right? Are they good or are they bad? Ones which are floating, yes? Are they good or are they bad? Damaged seeds will float. Exactly, right? So a damaged seed will float while the good seeds that are there, they will be immersed, right? So I will be able to separate the good ones from the bad ones and collect all these floating seeds and discard them. That means that when I sow my seeds, I will sow only good seeds, right? Yes, very good, very good. So now very quickly, everybody, first leaderboard, okay? Very, very important. This is the first leaderboard, and I can see that on top I have Ekansh Rajput, who's a bio pro. Then I have Riddhi, then I have Kritensha, then Richie, Pallavi Singh Rajput, Deepthi, Puffy, Apsara, Tarushi, and Rachit, who have made it to the top 10, right? Yes, okay. All right, okay, I can see some of you are, there are so many messages happening that it's going so fast, right? All right. Oh, Saksham, I hope you've entered your IMS. See, as much as you know, like for most students, understand that Menti is a third-party platform that we use, right? It's not something that is of our own. If there are some glitches in Menti, I'm extremely sorry. I don't know what else to be done, right? So for students, I'm extremely sorry about the whole thing. Tanush, viable means they are good, right? That means they will germinate. Yes? Okay. So sometimes what happens is speed is also one more thing. Sometimes, see, probably you would have answered fast. I think one more thing that normally happens is that you would have answered fast, okay? But sometimes because of internet reception or some glitch, it might not pick up the thing. So that could be the reason, but I'm not really sure. But maybe we can do another quiz, right? We can have one more quiz and let's do it on YouTube polls as well, right? So we'll do it on YouTube polls so that way nobody feels bad that, ma'am, I'm giving all the right answers, but you know, my name is not coming on the leaderboard. But that way what we will be able to do is we will also be able to make sure that all of you get marks, right? Yes. Okay. It happens sometimes, Aksham. I'm really sorry, right? I know many of you are here saying, ma'am, I gave all the answers, but my name is not there in the leaderboard. But intent is that you all get good marks. I mean, at the end of the day, please make sure that all of you, just focus on learning, right? So just focus on learning and don't worry about anything else. Yes? Okay. Let's move on. Shall we move on to the next set of 5 questions? Are we ready? Yes, Prema, ask your doubts, not a problem. Shall we get started? Okay. Ma'am, 7th ka live class happens at 7 p.m. 8th ka live class, 8 p.m. Easy for you all to remember. No, 8th class, 8 p.m. 7th class, 7 p.m. Yes, I will clear it. I have a question on crop production, right? Ma'am, this code is not working. Arey bacha, Akanksha, everybody has joined this code, right? Students, help your friend Akanksha in the live chat. She is not able to join. Please help her out, okay? Yes, question number 6, everybody on your screens now. Let's space it up a little bit. Arrange the following agricultural practices in order in which they are followed. 45 seconds for all of you. Now you have harvesting, sowing, storage, irrigation and preparation of soil. Yes, everyone, quickly. How to give answer? Go to www.menti.com. Type the code 2799877773. This is very easy. Very good, all of you. Very good, right? So step number 1 was preparation of soil, right? So I'm just going to put POS, followed by which you had step number 2, which was sowing of seeds. Then after that, you had step number 4, right, which was irrigation. Then, of course, you had step number 1, which is harvesting, followed by step number 3, which was storage, right? So you will prepare your seeds, sow your seeds, irrigate, then harvest, and then store, right? Yes, all right. Total of 15 questions. Now moving on to question number 7, everybody. I want to pick up the pace a little bit. At least in the next 15 minutes, I want to finish all of the questions. Can we do that? Because I know your time is also very valuable, right? You all need to make sure you go back, study, do your homework. So we'll pick up the pace a little more. Yes or no? Shall we pick up the pace? Yes? Very good. Very proud of all of you. So let's move on to the next question. So question number 7, everyone. Which among the following is not an example of a harvest festival? Pongal, Dasara, Baisakhi or Gudi Padwa? Very easy question. We learned about harvest festivals and why we celebrate harvest festivals. And we know one is very obviously not a harvest festival, right? Everyone should get this answer. Everybody should be getting this answer. Vedant, why? How is it relevant? I want to know. Very good, all of you. Very good. Dasara is not a harvest festival, right? Yes. So now, of course, with this, as we know, easy peasy question, let's move on to question number 8 on your screen now. So, okay, Mubin, not a problem. Which one of the following conditions is not essential to grow maize? This is an indirect question. Yes? High temperature, low temperature, humidity or rainfall. This is slightly indirect but very easy. Students, help your friends out who want to know how to join the quiz. I think I'm just going to keep it up. Very good, all of you. At least the majority of you got this right. But here, of course, I can see some of you got a little confused. Now, what kind of crop is maize? Is maize a kharif crop or is maize a rabi crop? Very quickly, students. Maize is a kharif crop or maize is a rabi crop? Kharif or rabi? Yes? Very good. BMW. Yeah, exactly. It is a kharif crop, right? Now, during kharif crop, we know that rainfall is an essential condition because kharif crops are also known as monsoon crops. We know that there needs to be a certain amount of humidity as well, right? So, normally we see that in such cases, there's also good amount of humidity. Now, what is humidity? It is nothing but moisture which is there. Yes? And in such cases, in monsoon seasons, we also see, right? We see that in such cases, we also see that high temperatures are also there around these seasons, especially in India, right? We see that it's all normally backed up with a little bit of high temperature. Low temperature is kind of like winter season. Think about it. Low temperature normally observed in winter season, which is why in this case, we know that low temperature is not an essential condition for growth of maize, right? So in this case, we see that the correct answer here is option number B. Now let's move on to question number 9, right? Yes. In the meaning of maize. I don't know what maize is called in Hindi. What do you call corn in Hindi? I don't know. I will check anyway in my phone. But I don't know how we call maize in Hindi. Sujal, not from this particular video, right? I request all of you to please make sure that you check out the concept sessions. And then Bhutta, is it? You call it Bhutta? Bhutta? I don't know how I'm pronouncing it. Hey, many of you are telling me different pronunciation, but I think Bhutta is the right way to say. I hope I'm getting it right. Yes. Now let's move on. Oh, Isma says, ma'am, you pronounced it rightly. Good. Question number 9 on your screen. The most feasible and sustainable method of irrigation among the following is what? Sprinkler system, drip system, tube well, chain pump. Yes. Shagun wants to know how to join the quiz. Tell Shagun how to join the quiz, everybody. Jaldi, jaldi. Very good, all of you. Very good. Now we're talking about which is sustainable. That means in which method will I not waste too much water, right? In what way will I not, in what way will I not waste too much water, right? Now in chain pump, tube well and all, we see that there is wastage of water. Now in sprinkler and drip irrigation, we see that there are more modern methods. But of course, between sprinkler and drip is the best way, because here in drip irrigation, we put the water drop by drop, right? And we know that there are nozzles or these tube-like structures that help us to, achieve this, where these drop-like structures will be there. And they'll be at the near the root and they'll just give it drop by drop. And that way we see that they will no longer, right? So we see that there will be no longer wastage of water. Ma'am, examples of crops that we grow in every season, and what do we call them? See, crops mainly in India, 3 cropping seasons are there: Kharif, Rabi and Zaid, right? And here, of course, in Kharif, we know that we have your RMC, right? Your RMC is rice, maize, cotton. Then you have Rabi crops, PMW, right? Not BMW, but PMW. So your Rabi season is your winter season, and you have your peas, you have your mustard, right? And you have your wheat, right? Or PWC, sorry. PWC is a better example. Then Zaid mein you have your, your cucumber, watermelon and all of that. All right. So moving on to question number 10, right? How to join Menti? Jaldi, jaldi. So in the meanwhile, go to another tab. Type this menti.com, right? So menti.com. It will ask you for one code. Just type this number. I have written it 3 times already. Moving on, let's have a look at question number 10, right? How to join? It's there on top. Yes? Okay. Choose the option which does not indicate the need to irrigate crops. That means you should identify which options suggest that we have to irrigate crops, and then identify which is not there, right? So seed sowing, nutrient absorption, protection from hot air, or healthy crops. Now which option is which says that there is no need to irrigate crops? Indicates the need, which does not indicate the need. Okay. Yes. Now, of course, everyone, to sow the seeds, you have to irrigate crops, right? Or do you need to irrigate the crop? Is that a function of irrigating? See, we twisted the question and asked you, which among the following is, or what are the reasons as to why irrigation is important, right? So the question simply asked you, what is the importance of irrigating crops? Does that mean that sowing seeds, we irrigate crops so that we sow seeds? Does that mean that? No, right? Tanishka, we twisted the question. So see, sometimes it's very easy. Now say, imagine you didn't understand the question. Seed sowing has nothing to do with why water is important, right? So as you all know, we know that water is necessary for nutrient absorption. We know that the roots that are there absorb water along with the nutrients, and nutrients are normally dissolved. So we know that it's necessary, and along with that, even internally it requires water. We know that water is necessary ultimately to get healthy crops, because we know water is a very important raw material for photosynthesis, right? Now, protection from hot air current. This is something which is little tricky, which you may not, which you will probably skip in your textbook. But textbook pay, it is there. It provides protection against hot air currents and frost as well, right? Sowing of seeds has nothing to do with it. So are we all clear? Yes? Are we all clear with this? Yes or no? Yes. From next time we will do this, okay? All right, very good. Sahil, you focus in class. Very good. So now, of course, students, we're going to have a quick look at the leaderboard, right? So let's see how the leaderboard looks like. And let's see. So now, of course, I can see on top, I have Riddhi, who's on top, followed by Yashika Malik, Praful, who is the fastest, Satyam is here, Satyam Yadav is there, then I have Apsara, MLB Dreamer, Deepthi, Anjana, Orion, and Sanvi. Hi, ma'am. Hello, Sanvi. Now, see, students, I want you to not just tell me your current rank. From the previous leaderboard to this leaderboard, did you make progress? Did you do better? Right? Have you come up the leaderboard? Right? Whether you were maybe 155, you maybe climbed, see, 59 to 14. Very good. See, that is what I want. I tell you, see, I am very proud of all my students who've made it to the leaderboard, right? But I want you to monitor your personal progress, yes? Now, sometimes it can go up the ladder where you might be getting maybe 115 and then you moved on to 100th rank. Or maybe you were in the 100th rank and then you moved on to 115. Now, does that mean that if you came from 100 to 115 that this is the end of it and you will never score well in biology or science? Absolutely not, right? Because understand one thing. This is the first Menti quiz that we are conducting after we just finished the chapter. And now, of course, very soon you will have your periodic tests and you have your midterms, right? Now, what I want you to focus is on whether with every unit test that happens or class test that happens, sometimes your marks will come good or maybe due to one or two reasons your marks may go bad. But if your marks go bad, that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. Try to identify, oh, where did I go wrong? What is it that I did not do well? Oh, I did not understand these 3 topics from chapter crop production. So I need to come back and pay attention, right? So that is why I want you to pay attention. I don't want you to tell me, "Arey ma'am, ho gaya, I can't do science. This is the end of it." No. 8th grade may only if you're like this, what's going to happen in 9th and 10th? What's going to happen for the rest of your life where it's going to be learnings, right? Which is why I request all of you to not be disheartened. We are here with you. We are here on your journey to become better. And you become better every day, right? Yes. Are we motivated? Are we ready for the last 5 questions? Yes. Do we have like fire in us? Are we ready? Are we filled with Josh? Yes? Okay. Very good, all of you. Very, very good. So with this, of course, let's get started. I can see that the Josh is pretty high. And with this, everybody, last 5 questions, right? Yes. Lot of hard work, Saksham, I would say. Lot of studying, lot of hard work, making sure that my students get the best of everything. So yeah. Moving on to question number 11, everybody, on your screens now. So this is a match the following, right? So match the following पे 60 seconds you have. I'm not going to read. You know how to do match the following, right? Students, if you're going to do mental match the following, I would suggest that, I will not suggest that. Write it down because this is where you will make maximum amount of silly mistakes. Yes? Arey, Aranvi. Why? What happened? Just give me one moment, students. Just one moment. Thank you. Very good, everybody. Very, very good. Somebody says, "Ma'am, I messed it up." Arey, it's okay, right? Oh, lots of love to you also, Arnavi. Yes, I think I got your name right. Lots of love to you. So, of course, this is the correct match, right? So, as you all know, right? As you all know, kharif crops that are there, examples of kharif crops. We just discussed RMC, right? What is RMC? Rice, maize, cotton. Paddy and maize are examples of kharif crops. Rabi crops that is there. As we know, Rabi crops that is there includes your wheat, grams and pea. Riju, always, see in my class, to all my students, I request you all to please maintain decorum in class, right? Chemical fertilizers are your superphosphates and urea. This is there in your NCRT. This is an exact NCRT question only. And then of course you have organic manure, which mainly includes animal excreta, cow dung, urine and plant waste that are there. So this is the correct match, right? Alright, moving on to question number 12, everybody. We'll pick up the pace a little bit, right? Koi nahi, if it's a little late, it's okay. Moving on. This is an assertion reason. A and R is assertion and reason, okay? Don't confuse. Farmers have to add manure to the fields to replenish the soil with nutrients. Continuous cultivation of the soil, continuous cultivation of crops makes the soil nutrient rich. Very easy. See, I'll tell you assertion reason from now you guys start to practice, because when you come to 10th standard, you have 4 questions in your board exam which is dedicated to assertion reason, right? So your trick to assertion reason I will teach you in 8th standard so that you practice and 10th May it is cakewalk. It's halwa. Very good all of you, very good. Now I want to know who are these people who have marked this. I sincerely hope it is a misclick. Yes? Now of course, assertion statement says that farmers have to add manure to the fields to replenish the soil with nutrients. Very good. This statement is true, right? Why do we add manure? Because it adds nutrients, right? Now, reason is continuous cultivation of crops makes soil nutrient rich. If I keep growing crops, my nutrients are going more and more. I think suddenly nutrients are getting replenished from God knows where. Absolutely not, right? It makes the soil nutrient deprived, right? It will deprive your soil of nutrients. So is this statement correct? Absolutely not, right? This statement is false. That means A is true but R is false. Yes? Very good. So now students who have marked these two, I really hope that you have made a note of it. Now moving on to question number 13, everybody, right? Akshara, a little bit, but it's okay. Moving on to the next question, which I think is a match the following for all of you. Easy peasy, take some time and answer. Yes? Please don't say that. It's okay. You complete and go. It's okay, puzzle cube. We may go wrong here and there, but it's important that we learn from our mistakes, right? That's more important and that's what I'm more focused on. Yes, I can see that many of you are very confused, right? Many misclicks. I can also observe that there have been many misclicks. It's okay, Jugal, no problem. But very good. I can see most of you have got the answer. This match the following was relatively easy, right? We know that mode that is there is nothing but a traditional method of irrigation. We have sprinkler system, which is a modern method of irrigation. Linseeds, which are an example of rabi crops. And of course, maize that is there is an example of kharif crop, which is why the correct answer here is option D. Yes, lots of love to all my students who are telling me, ma'am, love from Delhi, love from Bihar, love from Hyderabad, love to all of you, right? Love to all my students. Yes? Okay, let's move on to the second last question. Yes, I'm going to pace it up. Yes. All right. So now, of course, let's move on to another assertion reason question. Assertion A says that the loosening of soil allows the roots to breathe easily. Reason being that the loosening of soil helps in the growth of organisms that add humus to the soil. Okay, all right. I knew this was a little confusing. How many of you are now shocked? How many of you here are shocked right now with the results? Yes. Now I'll tell you why this is a tricky question. See, I always tell you for assertion and reason, right? Now, step number 1 is to figure out if both statements are true or false, right? So now, of course, your step number 1 is to identify if both statements are true or false. Now, in this case, we see that the loosening of soil allows the roots to breathe easily. Yes? Now, in this particular case, we know that it's true. Loosened soil helps in the growth of organisms and humus to the soil. This is also true, right? But now, in this particular case, after both statements are true, after assertion, ask yourself why. Now, your reason should justify that why statement. Now, the loosening of soil allows the roots to breathe easily. Why? Why does that allow? Because you know that, or why, if you ask yourself, we know that it's not because it helps in growth of microorganisms, but rather we know that loosening of soil will allow the roots to breathe easily and they'll be able to penetrate deeper into the soil, right? But now, of course, we see that loosening the soil will also help in the growth of microorganisms because it has gotten aerated. Are we clear now? Are we clear? It was a very fine line of difference, right? You should ask yourself why, and is a reason statement justifying that why. So are you all clear? Yes? Are you all clear as to why B is the correct answer? PMC for Rabi crops. Somebody was asking me. P for P, M for, it's actually PMW, not C, sorry, okay, it's PMW. This is mustard, W is wheat, not PMC, yes? Okay, all right, everybody, very good. Now we'll move on to the last question. Ma'am, I didn't read the second one only. Okay, so now, of course, everybody, let's quickly move on to the last question for today, right? What happened, Ajaya? What is it? Assertion reason. Assertion A says that usage of manure is advantageous for our environment. Manure contains chemical substances like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So easy, right? That's amazing, Anandu. Very good. Very proud. Arnavi, I don't know. That's an answer I'm not able to give. But it's great. This is a very simple question, everybody. Very easy, right? Very good. I can see many of you have got the answer. We know that manure that is there is organic. It's obtained from, it's made up of organic matter and it's formed by the decomposition of animal excreta, or it's, we normally get it from natural sources. So it is advantageous for the environment because it is eco-friendly. But manure contains chemical substances. Nope. It is fertilizers, right? So correct answer here is option A, which says A is true, but R is false. So with this, everybody, we come to the end of today's class. Now, of course, before I show the final leaderboard, I want all of you to ask me if you enjoyed today's class, right? Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, yes? On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you feeling about this chapter? Yes? Can you tell me how confident are you feeling? Ma'am, maybe, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Whatever it is, please, do not worry, right? Even if it is a 7 at this point, I'm telling you, by the end of your final exams where you'll have the full syllabus, trust me, right? Trust me, you will be, super confident. At one point, you can ask your seniors, they'll tell, ma'am, we were so confident, we felt like we could be farmers also, right? That's how much we're going to revise. That's how much we will do in great detail. So do not worry. Yes, I'm very happy that all of you here are excited. Now, if one more sincere request I have for all of you, if you want some additional maybe classes, right? For example, it could be anything, right? Maybe NCRT solutions you want to do HOTS questions, maybe you want to have maybe some doubt clearing sessions, whatever requests that you have for this particular chapter, let me know in the comments of this video. I will take it up to my team so that we can do something about it, right? And the sooner the better. So I really need you all to be giving me your inputs in the comments of this video. Yes? Alright, so very quickly, let's have a look at the Menti board and let's see what our Menti says. Alright, so now of course I can see there has been a lot of changes, but Praful has come on top. So very good, all of you, very good. I can see Praful has got 14,200 points, 04 points, followed by which I have Orion, Riddhi, Agrima, MLB Dreamer, Bhavik who's in grade 5. I'm very surprised. But of course I have Apsara, Deepthi, Rimisha and Sarah G. Yes. Very good, all of you, very good. Now see, don't worry about your marks right now. Yes, at one point in your school exam when you're going to be giving your unit test exams, you are all going to do really well. Yes, I know that because you are all my students. I trust you. I trust the hard work that you put in every day, right? And tomorrow I always want to make sure that you not only grow up to be wonderful students with amazing marks, great job, whatever you want to achieve in the future, I know you will achieve it. But along with that, I need all of you to become very responsible students, also very, very responsible human beings. Be mindful of the way you talk to people. Be mindful of the way you are nice to people, right? So please, it's important that you all accept and understand this, right? Okay, so with this everybody, I will be signing off, and you know BYJU'S 6 to 8 has always got you covered. So whatever you need more, let me know in the comments of this video. I hope all of you have hit the subscribe button, and of course please make sure that you do not forget to like this video. And if you are very new to my class, I hope that all of you enjoyed today's class. If you did, if you were new and this was the first live class you attended, let me know in the comments of this video how much you enjoyed. So thank you so much everybody. I'll be talking to you all soon, but up until then, take care, lots of love, and bye bye.